How's it going? My name's Corey. I'm here with Mountain Blaze Branding and Merchandise. We are a merch design agency, and what we're sort of specializing in is the intermediary between client and manufacturer, where we're looking to create designs and set up the files and develop concepts that can then be handed off sort of seamlessly to a manufacturer to get those concepts made. So that's what we're all about. This is episode 4 of Notes from the Design Desk. Last episode, we talked a little bit about why, a lot of t-shirt and apparel a lot of t-shirt and apparel concepts fail, and what my thoughts on that were. If you want to check that video out, it's on our channel. But today I want to talk about why the concept of failure in general. And basically what I mean by that is the way that a merch strategy for a business would fail, and how you would react to that, and how you would move forward with that. So first, let's define what it means for a merch strategy to fail. Basically, you're working with a manufacturer and you're going back and forth, and you're putting hours in, and you're sort of coming to a solution. And then you place the order, you pay for the order comes in, you set it out on your sales floor, and you are observing, you're taking note of what gets sold, and how it gets sold, and who's buying, and what they're buying and why. But there's a big chunk of it that doesn't get sold, and so that portion of the merchandise would be regarded as a failure. But if we recontextualize the term, it opens up an opportunity to learn from the experience. So what that means is recontextualizing failure to me is taking it from a negative to a positive. So basically you have a lot of this unsold merch, and if you look at it closely, what you're going to actually see, instead of failed product, is feedback. That's the important distinction. So feedback tells you what you did wrong. If you're able to spend time and investigate and sort of run diagnostics on that merchandise, you should be able to arrive at a few conclusions that you can take note of and then apply it to the next iteration. So iterative design, I think that if you're going to develop a merchandise strategy for your business, the best way to do it would be by doing iterative design rounds. So round 1, you would have, the initial order, right? You have basics, you have, a few heavyweight items, you have hats, and then you have a couple of wild card products that are in the mix. And those items will be sort of the experimental. So when you're selling these items, you're going to take note of how well each experimental item is doing. You're going to gather data and being preemptive in gathering data instead of just sort of observing. And the more data you can collect, the faster you can collect it, the better off you're going to be later down the road. And what that means is basically, being observant of who's purchasing items, how many times it gets picked up at on the sales floor, how it's being displayed on the sales floor, and the more data you can gather and apply to the next round, where you're making adjustments, you're rearranging concepts, you're addressing whether or not placement is correct on garments. You're sort of looking at what worked and what didn't work, and your ultimate goal is to eventually have a A-list lineup of product that sells really well. And that's kind of why you want to go through this iterative process, because essentially, if you try to hit it out of the park, day one, it's not going to happen. Like, you can spend all the time in the world trying to come up with a hat, shirt, and sweatshirt solution that's going to, cover all bases, sell really well, and, nail it. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of factors at play. You can't anticipate how a customer is going to react until they react. You can control a lot of the factors surrounding it, the way that it's displayed, the quality, the design, but you don't know what they're gonna like until they end up buying it. And certain things can take you by surprise, and certain things will be exactly what you think it's going to be, but not in every case. So the more data you can collect, the better. And by the third round, you have 2 rounds in the pocket that you have ready to go, and you should have a pretty solid list by the third one. You can start adding in more experimental test products to see how they do to add to that. And what's kind of cool is that it will feed back into itself and kind of go through this ongoing process of liquidating the product, and then the liquid funds go back into the product, and it sort of builds outward until you have a robust merch system and store in place. So that's how I would go about recontextualizing what it means to fail, because it's not always that straightforward. So this has been Notes from the Design Desk. We have a podcast. I've got 2 episodes up on the podcast right now, and also a blog. So if you're a reader, please check us out on Substack, and also on our website, www.mountainmtnblaze.co. We would love to work with you. Obviously, we apply this methodology to the work that we do with clients, where we try to identify those initial items that would do well, but cast a wide net so that you can iterate later. And then, we think about it in terms of rounds. Like, we anticipate the next round, and we anticipate the next round. And we'll do a lot of the info gathering ourselves, but we're not going to be the ones that are standing on the sales floor. So we don't know what we don't know. So that's where you guys come in, and you need to, sort of gather that information. That's why we encourage our clients to gather information so that we can be better informed at each iterative stage. So would love to talk to you. Leave a comment below. When was the last time that you failed at a merch, and why? What are some reasons that you've observed in your business that the merch strategy simply didn't work? Put that in the comment below. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and go to our website. Check us out, www.mtnblaze.co. Would love to hear from you. All right. Thanks. Bye.